You have the thing. Oh, there we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dennis Huang, the Executive Director for the Asian Business Association. On our staff today and helping me today is being our administrator and Bianca C, which is our programs person manager. So we'll be helping us through this. Our purpose today is really to share with you it's already open, the Economic Opportunity Grant Program, or the EOG as they call it. Everything like to be an acronym, so they did that as well. I would put the website, the homepage here, you can have it, and please, that's where you go to apply for this grant. Of course, this won't be made possible without the support of PACE. PACE is helping us underwrite some of the costs to be associated with this, as well as MBDA. Really thank them for doing that. As you know, there's a nonprofit organization. Sometimes it's really depending on our sponsors and folks that really support us so we can produce things like this. Just very clearly, so this grant is really targeted at micro businesses, so really small businesses. I think in this case, they're looking at $50,000 and less is what they're considering as micro business, small businesses and nonprofit organizations, all either located in the county of LA or you service in the county of LA. So with that in mind, here we go. Oh, so again, just want to make clear that if questions, you can type them in the chat and you can ask us at the end. So again, we talked a little bit about microbusiness, but just kind of give you some definitions. The phase one already started. That started on January 25th. It's going to go all the way to March 25th. So you still have time. So this is really targeting that, like I said, $50,000 and less revenue. You have to be in business in 2019, and you are currently still in business. The micro businesses is for owners that have not received the California Relief Grant. So if you have it, you cannot qualify for that. So that's this phase one of the micro business. Phase two, which is we are in right now, there's a micro business that continues to happen. So this is $2,500 if you do more than $100,000 in revenue. So in other words, around $100,000 revenue and under, you will get a grant of $2,500. For most of us in that small business section on the top right corner, as you see here on the phase two, it started on the 23rd of February, ending in May 20th. It stands for small business. It's a for-profit business with a revenue of $2 million or under. So that's the cap. So if you make $2,000,001, sorry, you do not qualify for this grant. You'll need to have taxable years. So you have to be in operation back in 2019. However, this is a little bit confusing. I'll tell you, there's some confusion when I went through their site and look at it. But what they're asking for is you have to be under 2 million in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Our nonprofit friends are also on this. I know many of you are on. Your threshold's a little bit different, right? Dates are the same. You could be headquartered in LA, including the LA County, and serving the county of Los Angeles. So there's a little discrepancy on that because we ourselves is located in the city, but we as a nonprofit, we have an inclusion that we could be part of it. But our nonprofit, you got to be less than $5 million. All right, we'll go on. So again, just a little background, what is the EOG as they call it? It's the Economic Opportunity Grant. Will be awarded more than $54 million across 6,800 grants in 2 regions and organization in Los Angeles County was adversely affected by COVID-19. And yes, there are still things that people are still suffering right now. We know that, and there's simply not enough money, but we hope that when things are reopened or it's opening right now, that we get back to doing business as usual. So who can apply for it in the phase two for small businesses? So you will get $20,000 for small businesses, and if your revenue is between 100,000 and under 2 million, we talked about it. So if you're under 100,000, apply for the micro grant. If it's more than that, apply for the small businesses. And it's very important that you select the right one when you log in to do this. So we'll go over that as well. Revenue receipts, we talked about that 2019, 2020, and 2021 taxable years. Your business has to be started prior to 2021. So you have to have that. Now, here's the tricky though. So hopefully you'll have tax returns from all these years. You'll need to submit tax returns, and we'll talk about that as well. you have to be located in the county of LA, excluding the city. Now, this is very important. So if your small business is in the city, you do not qualify. Now, when I talked to them, they said, well, hopefully they may be a phase 3, because if they couldn't give out all the money, they will open this up to include if you're located in the city. So what is city of LA? Well, if your address says Los Angeles, that's your city, right? If your address says Monterey Park, if your address is Hacienda Heights, then you're included, you're fine. Nonprofits is a C3, C6, C19, located, headquartered in Los Angeles County. Again, you're included if you're in the city. They include it for nonprofit. Threshold's a little bit different. Revenue is no greater than $5 million based on those years. Here's the difference in the nonprofit. There's a little tier for the nonprofit, how much you get. If you're under $1 million, you get $20,000. So that's how much you qualify for. If you're more than $1 million and under 5, you will get 25,000. So maybe depending on your year, you did better. If you're over the $1 million threshold, maybe consider applying for submitting that year for your application. Ineligibility. So here's some other things besides we don't qualify. Public traded company, you don't qualify because you're publicly traded. Corporate-owned franchises, financial institution, banks. These are very similar to a lot of things that's out there. We'll have this recorded. It's also up on their site on who doesn't qualify. I just don't want to get too bogged down because there's a lot. But it's sort of like some of the social club, pawn shop, astrology, palm reading, liquor stores, unfortunately, do not qualify. Nightclubs, if you're a lobbying firm, junkyards, there's a whole list here. Take a look at that. Just know that where you fall, unfortunately, if you're a part of that, you do not. For the most of us, I think you'll be okay. What can you use the funds for? So it's very broad in this. You'll need to, there's a self-certified place that just say, hey, I promise that we'll only use it for these things. It's self-certified. But most of us are using that as employee payroll tax, working capitals, which is, I know a lot of businesses don't need that. So I think the first two would get 90%, right? And then of course, payment for outstanding business expense, your rent, your supply management, etc. And the costs resulting from COVID-19 pandemic, health, safety restrictions, business interruptions, and closure all qualify. So again, it's very broad. I think most of us will qualify for that. You can use the funds for those things. This is sort of your checklist, if you will, right? What documents do you need and be ready to apply? So there's a self-certification, the applicant certification that just kind of make sure that you're telling the truth. When you go through the process, there's a place you can just kind of download that, write it on your PDF, you type it in and submit that back up. You do need one of those years, either 19, 20, or 21. You need those tax returns. So if you don't have it, please ask your CPA to get that right now. All that will be uploaded. One of the things we noticed is that whatever your revenue says on those years, that's the revenue number you want to put in your application. So total revenue, whatever that year may be, make sure you have that number, because that's one of the first questions they'll ask, is to write what is the year and the revenue for that year. The other official findings, they just want to make sure that your organization is who you are. So it's one of the following. So it's not all of the following, right? So and it's kind of a article of incorporation, the certificate of organization, your fictitious name, if you have a professional license. Professional license in our experience is like if you're a hairdresser or nail technician, that license itself qualifies. Government issued business license, anything with that would be great. If your license is not available, or your expired license with proof of a renewal payment is also sufficient to do that. Also, after that, you'll be submitting your government issue ID. I would say most of us, 100, maybe 95%, probably have a driver's license, state ID, or a passport. you will need to take a picture of that and upload that in there. After that's done, there's a little thing they call persona, which is how they verify that you match the picture in your ID. You're looking at the camera, you're turning left and right, and that's how they validate it. So again, a lot of security, of course, to protect that they issue to the right folks, and that's what's there. And lastly on here is you have to have a valid banking information. They use Plaid to do that. So make sure you have your valid the banking information, which is your routing number and your login. So when it's funded, it will fund it directly to your bank. So again, these are some of the checklists to make sure you have that ready to go. You have a little bit of time because it is May 20th, the application, so you can get that ready, but don't procrastinate, just get it in and let them decide. So as you log into the page, this is what you'll see, right? 3 things in there: phase 1, micro grants, small business grant, nonprofit grant. Make sure you click on the right one, because if you do the wrong one, the questions will come up a little bit answer. There's a quick snapshot of what you qualify for on the right here. You can see it right next to the purple boxes. But just as you come in, make sure you get that right. Don't make the mistake that we did and apply for the wrong one. So there's a little bit of hoops to jump through, but that's why we wrote it on here. Some of the lessons that we learned to let you know about that. For the nonprofit friends on our call or on this thing today coming on, one thing you want to be sure is there's 2 questions that came up that stood out for us. It says, do you provide services throughout LA County? Again, this is a county grant, so you want to make sure you do service the county. So folks that come in from the county, not necessarily in your city, yes, that counts, right? Bring it to housing, food insecurity, transportation, environment, legal assistance, homelessness, or any health service. If you do that, push yes. If you say no, I think it'll kick you out. So it won't say you qualified. So just know that for our nonprofit friends. I'm assuming for businesses, it's going to be very similar. This is toward the end of the application process. Do you provide direct work? So the other question that they have following, do you provide direct workforce training, job placement, career skills program services to young adults? They qualify, they let the young adults of the age throughout the LA County. Again, you want to put yes here as well. If you do that, of course, if you don't, there's a good chance you do not qualify, but it's our nonprofit friends. But small businesses will be very similar to this, so get low. I'm almost done here, so we'll get to your questions in just a little bit. So save those questions or put them in the chat so you don't forget. Some of the tips: when you submit your email address, make sure, well, number 1, before even this, I know I didn't have it on here, but I just remember there's a first box at the bottom that because of all the spam filters, when they communicate with you, I would put your cell phone number and go ahead and accept that, because sometimes they just text you the information. They'll call you on your cell phone. So make sure you check that box for the text messages. So coming back to the tips. So don't use info at your company name. Don't use sales. Like these general things usually get to your spam. It's hard for them to send that out to you. So don't do that, or don't use anything as non-reply or no reply and all that stuff. So try not to use that. It's probably best that you have a personal email, especially when it's things like this, especially in the county, that you want to make sure you don't give them any issues not to communicate with you for these things. Prepare your documents in a PDF format is always the best, such as your tax documents. And those files need to be under 15 megabytes, so it's easier to upload. Also, sometimes your tax document is password protected. They don't know your password, so if you're submitting that, make sure it's not password protected, or else they can't verify that. Industry use persona, we talked about that for fraud prevention. It's an application, applicants will be asked to for your government ID to kind of match that. They'll have a 3-point composition, biometric liveness check. It's pretty cool, but again, I know it's sort of invasive, so want to let you know that they do this as well. Use Google Chrome is probably the easiest thing for you to apply. They have some hiccups with the other browsers. Sometimes it's also used in an incognito window to do that, just because there's some cache issues. People get stuck, or they didn't refresh it and clear it out, and some old passwords and all that stuff. So sometimes it's easier to do it. Usually if it's the first time doing it, you're not going to have a problem. Okay, So they said to apply before May 20th. I would tell you to do it this month, just because don't let it sit and wait, right? I know there's so many things going on. You can knock this out in a matter of 30 minutes or less, right? If you have your docs in order, it is quick, and maybe even 10 minutes. You kind of go through the questions. I think the one you want to be very careful on is that certification part. I think you take some time to read through all that, like 2, maybe 3 pages of it. I know it's kind of lawyer talk that they have in there, but it's really to protect our individuals, to make sure you're true to who you are. The website on here, and maybe V can help me type this up and put it in the chat so they have a link to it. But you go to eog.smallbizla.org/help. Not only they have a lot of good videos, they have other information sessions and application guide. All this, what I'm telling you in front, it's all there as well. They have it to help. Also, any questions for the application, is probably best to call them directly. We put the numbers in there. If there's any technical issues, we put the numbers in there as well. So just kind of jot that down. I think their staff has been so much better into answering that. They get to you within a day. I would say give them 24 hours, even though they say 48 hours. 24 hours, they're usually pretty good in getting back to you with any questions. But again, I would just rely on the help. You'll I would say, get a very high percentage of your questions answered there. But that's why we do this as well. If you have any questions that you have for us, and we'll do our best to answer that, having gone through a few of these things. A quick little plug about, if you guys don't know PACE, we thought this is a good resource for you as well. So that's it about the application. I want to talk a little bit about PACE. PACE stands for Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment. They're a procurement-based organization. They serve over 40,000 low-income residents in LA. Great, fantastic group. They made this event possible. I really want to thank them for making this happen for us as well. And they know that we have a pretty good reach into businesses. They really want to reach them. So thank you for acknowledging that. But one of the things we want to highlight about PACE, and one of the things they do, is their business development piece. They do training for them, technical assistance, and access to capital for entrepreneurs and small business owners. So access to capital is an issue, procurement is an issue, or technical assistance. They're also a Women Business Development Center. Really look them up, right? They also do the other workforce development piece. A lot of both of these are big, their strengths. They also operate the MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency, which is fantastic. Really push forward to reach the hard to reach minority businesses. So really props to them for doing this. But we want to give you some of their contact information. They're here in Wilshire, Wilshire Boulevard in downtown LA. But I think the main thing is Christina is assigned to help folks. She's the procurement manager. Her email's there. V, if you don't mind throwing that in the chat so they have that as well, and her phone number. Oh, shoot, maybe I shouldn't put our cell number, but you have it, so call. Use it to your advantage. So anything related to what they do, what they can help you, do that. As you know, we are sort of stretched in terms of our capability, but however, if you have any questions, you can always email us at info@abala.org. V does a great job of looking through everything. And I look through that as well. So everybody has access to that, and we do look through that. So if you have any question, email us at info@abala.org. If they can't answer any question, we'll do our best to do that. Last we have is a thank you. So really appreciate your time. I know that there may be questions, so we want to spend some time to do that. So the floor is yours. So if you don't have anything to chat and you want to ask your question by unmuting yourself, you're also welcome to do so. But Bianca, did you have something you want to help me out with that?
Yeah, we can start with the questions on the chat, and we actually have a couple. Sure. I guess we can start with from Yi Lee asking if our federal returns for business federal return also need personal federal return as well. So
yeah, if it's if it's your own business, I would submit them both, right? So if you're like a S corp or something, or you're just your own, so just submit your personal tax. So yes, you need to submit your personal tax.
Thank you. From Heather Humpelman, she's asking, in 2019 to 2021, they were based in LA County, but now currently based in LA City. So is this grant based on current location or location from 2019 to 2021?
Oh, great question. I don't know. I'm sorry. I would imagine it's your current location, because you'll need to put in your current address and they'll know by current address to get to. But send us your contact, email us at info@abala.org. We can ask that question for you, or you can call them directly to ask. I'm sorry, I don't, that's tough. I don't know the answer to that.
Thank you, Dennis. Another question from Melissa. Our small business has an office in LA County, which is in actually specifically Claremont. However, our tax returns are based in SB County, so San Bernardino County, as a mailing or official address. Is that okay for eligibility?
Oh, I would
They've
say.
received past LA County grants.
Oh, if you see LA County grants, maybe. I think they usually look at headquarters, right? Because where you do the tax filings. So Melissa, do it.
Christian has the same
Look, I'm
question
sorry.
as
Part of me is like, we should only try, right? Let them give them a job. So, and I'll just be that very clear. When I give them the opportunity to say no, I think we just kind of have to try. Small businesses will be nimble, and I would just submit it, but give them the opportunity to say no. But at least we tried. I'm always good, like just try. Sorry, Bianca, go ahead.
Thank you. From Tony, when will we know if we've been approved? Is it before May 20 or afterwards?
Yeah, I think I have the same questions and I have it in the queue asking them. We'll email everybody and let them know about that. But my guess, if they did it, they'll be in phases, right? If they'll look at it at batches. I feel like May is way too late, but most likely it's going to be May. But I believe there'll be a batch maybe earlier, because I think part of them, they don't want to sit on this cash. They got to get it out. And as you know, I'm guessing here, right? LA County is based on their fiscal year that ends in June 30th. So no matter what, it could be then, but hopefully they'll get a batch out.
Thank you. From Mina, she's asking if they had 1 year with over $2 million revenue in the 2019 to 2021 range. Do we not qualify, or do we just pick a year that we were under?
Yeah, pick a year you're under. Again, I'm here for trying, right? 2020 is if it's 2020, most people 2020, 2021 are not good years. I would do that.
Thank you. Well, I can, so for Vin, they're asking if can we email them the slide or the deck? But I believe we can do that. So moving on to the next question.
The deck, sure, we'll send out the deck out as well as the video, right? Video. Either way, we'll have it. Video sometimes we'll put it on YouTube later on. You can just fast forward to the place that you want.
Perfect. Yeah. From Raymond, would this grant apply to a freelance graphic designer? He does have a tax ID.
Yes, absolutely, please.
Awesome. I think that's all the questions I have in the chat. If anyone else has any questions right now, you can unmute, turn on your video, and ask away.
Video is optional. If you want to just ask, it's okay. It's up to you.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's all right. Because we want to make sure everybody's comfortable wherever they are. But if you want to ask in different ways, sure, certainly do that.
Real quick, I missed the beginning. I just was waiting for my Zoom to load. Where would you actually apply? Where's the place to actually apply to this?
So look in the chat. I think we put the link in there as well. We'll keep it on for a little bit so you'll have that. I think it's one of the first ones. That's EOG.smallbiz.org is the place to do it. But it's in the chat. It has a help thing, but from the help thing, you can go to the main page.
Okay.
Or if you want to put it in there again, V, so they have it, that'd be great.
Thank you.
You got it.
What do you guys do?
Oh, sorry.
The speaker, Mr. What do you guys do? Are you guys a tax consultant or what do you do?
No, so I guess we don't know who comes on, I guess. We thought it's just some members. So thank you for that question. So we're the Asian Business Association. We've been on the community for the 47 years. So we're a membership-based organization that helps Asian American businesses here in Southern California. But obviously, you do not need to be Asian to join. That's just our name. But yeah, that's what we do. We kind of build these networking opportunities and platforms, and information like this we like to share with our members because we know that this is very useful for them. I'm glad you're on, but thank you for that question. So nice for us to plug ourselves. We knew we're ready for that.
We have a question from Yili. She asked, if got previous grant 2 years ago, can they still apply again this time?
So if you got the which same grant from the city, from the county, could you clarify that?
I guess she meant the CA relief grant.
So the only thing I saw was for micro businesses that was excluded. I believe that you can apply again. So this is different. Well, we shouldn't say again because it's different. CA relief grant is the state. This is the county. So if it's the county, it's the first time, I believe. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so sorry, I just want to jump in, like just to clarify, if you are micro business and your revenue is 50,000 or less, and you have received the CA relief grant before, you cannot apply anymore. But if you are small businesses and the revenue is between 100,000 to 2 billion, you can apply again.
Yes. Yes, thank you for clarification. So I hope you got that. If it's a micro business, so if you are a micro business that got the CA relief grant, you're ineligible, but which is kind of stupid, right? Because small business is supposed to have it. I don't know why they do this. So I don't know. I would just tell you apply, let them say no. Okay. Of course, I'm sticking with that attitude. It could be wrong, but let them say no to you. I would do it. Okay.
Another question.
Yep.
So from Julie, we are located in Los Angeles, zip code 90038. Is that considered city of LA and excluded for phase 2?
So I don't know what the zip code is, and if that comes up as, maybe you, Bianca or V, you can look that up for me. If it's city of LA, right? If your address is Los Angeles, California, you don't qualify right now. And I'm sorry about that. Yes, you are excluded because that's what it says. Hopefully, they will have another phase that will be included.
Oh wow. Okay, so city of LA is not included.
City of LA for the small business is not included.
Got it.
Yeah, kind of suck. I know. Why is that? It's like so confusing. Federal, state. I'm still confused. I hear you.
Okay, got it. So like North Hollywood in the middle of the valley is not included. Okay.
North Hollywood. Is that an LA address or is that a Hollywood address?
I think it's an LA address. North Hollywood. It's like just, yeah, it's in the Stanford in the valley.
When you write the address on your like whatever, like your company, right? Is this Hollywood? Because I don't know. If it's Hollywood, I would do it. Sherman Oaks, I would do it.
Thank you for the presentation. I got a question. On the cities that do qualify, does the city of Los Angeles do not qualify or do qualify?
City of Los Angeles do not. For small businesses, do not.
What about City of Commerce? The City of Commerce is sometimes represented as LA or City of Commerce. Will that?
I know that's a tricky one. I would put as commerce and submit it.
Commerce. Okay, gotcha.
Look, we're here to small, right? We're here to try. So please,
no, I appreciate that.
Take it for what it is, right? So I'm not the final decision on this, right? But I'm just encouraging folks to really do it.
But does that mean that for micro businesses, City of LA qualifies?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
One thing, and I know we kind of said at the end as well, if you can help us and just nudge us, send it to the info address and say you applied. We just like to know who did, and then later on, if you could be so kind, we don't need to know the amount and all that stuff, right? We don't need to know anything, but just let us know if you applied and let us know if you got it. Because I like to keep track. Sometimes we can do the advocacy part, right? A lot of times if we know, look, is that the percentage is like really minor, like small, then we can go to the city hall and have a little talk with them, or even to the county and say, hey, what happened here? Because part of it is the advocacy piece. We know that Asian Americans in our case, right, is sometimes overlooked. And if we're not qualifying is one thing, but if we do qualify, didn't get it, we like to advocate for our businesses. So if you can just help us out, just letting us know, we will celebrate the wins with you. And if it isn't, we like to just have a stats of what it is. We won't say anything. We won't say your company may be all protected. We won't, but we like to advocate for our group. So if you can help us out, that'd be great. Cool. We'll stay on a few more minutes. If you have anything else, let us know, or just email us, let us know. But other than that, I really want to thank you. I want to give the back time to you guys, because I know you're busy just running your businesses, and really thank you for doing that. And we truly believe you are the backbone of our economy, and we want to continue to support that. So thank you again for being on, but we'll stay on a few minutes. If you want to put things in the chat, we'll get in and reply.
Hey, Dennis, how do we get on your, is there like a calendar of events of all the things that you guys are doing?
Yeah, the easiest thing to
just-
do is just come to our website, abala.org, join, but there is a free membership. Once you have that, it's in our queue. That's one way of doing it. The other way, I think somewhere on our site and the homepage, there's a button if you could just kind of be on the mailing list as well. That's also fine. Either way is fine, but either way, we can just kind of get on and inform everybody.
I think I'm on it, but you said sign up as a business or just as an individual?
Either way, individual or business. Business is easier as a business organization. That'll be a little bit easier for us. But if you know other people, and by the way, please tell other people about this. It's especially like walk down the street, you know, that street vendor there, you know, let them know. That's, if you go visit them often, just let them know about it. I know sometimes that they know you because you go there so much, you have some credibility with them. And that's what we want to reach those folks. So make an effort to do that. It'd be great.
Hey, Dennis, do you know when applicants will get notified if they qualify? And if they do qualify, when would they expect to receive funding?
And then so I would say once you submit it, there's an email telling you right away if you qualify or not. Once you're qualified, you're in the queue. They say, hey, everything's submitted, you're fine. It will tell you that. If right away, if for whatever reason that's you fall outside of the range, it will also tell you that. However, all your stuff is still in their queue. So you can log in later on to see where it's at if they have a phase 3.
And next we have a question from Raymond Lee. If they collected EDD during the pandemic, are they still applicable?
Yes, because I don't think they mentioned anything about that. Now, well, I think it depends on your threshold. I believe you still are, right? Because it just, as long as you don't go over their limit, I think you're okay. Independent contractor, if you get that, you're still under $1 million for small business, right? You still qualify. So if you're under $100,000, it's micro businesses. So yes.
And then question from Joycey, the nonprofits who were filed in another state for 2020 to 2022, but transfer in LA starting from 2023. Does this qualify?
No, well, because the only thing they'll get is your out of state, right? Because unless you have anything currently, you know, I don't know. That's you might want to call them on that one. I'm sorry, I don't want to guess there. That one's too hard for me to answer. I'm leaning towards no, because all they see is your tax filing from 2021, 2020, and 19 if it's out of state. I think the only address you have is currently. Just call them to be sure. Sorry about that, Josie. Is it Josie that was asking?
Yeah. Question from Hamid. What counts as a micro businesses, and do micro businesses count in the city of LA?
micro business count in the
Yes.
do you remember?
Yes, yes.
It counts,
So
right?
let me answer this question for you,
Yeah, thank you.
Hamed. Micro businesses is businesses with 50,000 or less in the revenue. And yes, it's including the city of LA.
But I think this round it's under 100,000, right? So anything 100,000 is micro.
No, under 50,000, not 100.
Well, under 50,000.
Yeah,
I
under
see.
50,000 and less, and it's including the city of LA. And the deadline to apply for this micro businesses is only until March 25. So you better hurry.
Better just get it in. You can do it this weekend. Knock it out, please. Just get it done. Don't procrastinate. Get it done.
And question from
Richard had a question?
from Tony.
Okay.
Can someone guide us to apply for the grant? Where do we go?
So so there's not a guide. I mean, we can help some. It's very simple through like the process. It's not really difficult. I think that's why we put the help thing on there, and it walks you through it. There's a video you can watch as well. There's an application guide to help you as well. I think you'll be okay. If you do need the help, I would contact. We can walk you through if it's like something simple. Well, I don't mind hopping on and to do that. I think also Pace will help you, but just let us know, send us a note, and we'll schedule a time to do so. Am I going to be opening up some big trouble there? I know.
Tony, I just dropped in the chat. Tony, I just dropped in the chat the link to apply. You just click on the link, create a new account, and then you go from there.
But if you get stuck or something, yeah, we'll set up a time to do it. We'll want to help. We had someone with their hands up, Richard.
This is great presentation, and I'm glad that this take place. I have a question for the Uber driver and the taxi drivers. Are they considered as a micro businesses?
Yes,
Can
so
they
depending
apply
on your
for
revenue
it?
size, right? Depending on your revenue size. If it's more than 100, go ahead.
So they can apply for this if their income is qualified for this way.
Yes. So
Great.
right, so under anything, if you think about it, under $2 million, right, you qualify. So that's a big. So well, within that, then is a micro business versus small business. So just make sure that you fit within that revenue to click on the right one. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And good luck and do it. Yes. Don't wait. Just do it.
All right, guys, I gotta head out. Just want to say thank you, guys. Appreciate your service to us, and we'll keep you posted if we get awarded.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Officezilla. We got to find out what he does. Maybe we'll order office supply from them.
Yes, we need all the support. You know, we're a local small business.
Yes, we'll support one another. That's what we do.
So Dennis, how do I get your information on here?
I'll send it to you. I have your email. I'm pretty sure I can find it. I'll send you a note.
All right, I'll send you my.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, no
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cool. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Well, I'll hit you up.